guys, Steady Eddie back again with this second part of how much will it cost for 2 weeks in Pattaya. Well, in the first part I gave prices for those on a budget who want to spend 2 weeks in Pattaya but who still want to enjoy themselves. So after the budget review, what comes next? Well, the mid-range traveller I suppose, which is probably the most popular one. But I don't think I need to spend too much time on that one because it's fairly self-explanatory. For mid-range, you simply look at what the basics are and then add more money to it. Aim for a better hotel, better restaurants, etc. If the budget traveller can have 2 good weeks in Pattaya for £2,500, then the mid-range traveller is going to be spending about £3,500 to £4,000 over that 2-week period. At the end of the day, it's all down to you. So, enough of that. Now in this vlog, I'm going to go right to the other end of the spectrum and talk about that breed of people you may well have heard of, the 2-week millionaires. Now this should be fun. Okay, so 2-week millionaires. Who are they? And where did that phrase come from? Well, I would imagine these are not actually millionaires. That name is meant in a sort of mocking way. I should imagine that phrase was probably invented by those travellers who travel for a longer period of time, like to think they're experienced travellers and know a lot more than the 2-week holiday makers. I actually think the phrase 2-week millionaire is meant in a derogatory kind of way. The experienced traveller who likes to snobbishly think he knows everything regards these people as amateurs, idiots even. Haha, look at him! He's only here for 2 weeks and he's acting like a millionaire. Just an idea I have, but you should get where I'm coming from. There is also, of course, another reason why long-term travellers or expats may not be too fond of 2-week millionaires. Come on, you know it. Yes, that's right. They think these 2-weekers splashing the cash around are going to drive the prices up. Bad news for everyone. So who are the 2-week millionaires exactly? Well, I think the key is in the 2 weeks bit. These are probably fellas who work in employment when they are restricted to 2 weeks holiday at a time. Thailand is a long way to go for 2 weeks, so if you've only got 2 weeks holiday there after that long journey, then you've got to make the most of it. And that is exactly what these fellas do. From the moment they step off the plane, these fellas who have probably worked hard and look forward to this 2 weeks of Pattaya heaven have one aim: to party hard, to live those 2 weeks to excess. They may have spent many months on construction sites or their own businesses or whatever, and there is no way after all that hard work are they going to have a quiet, cheap and cheerful vacation. With all that Pattaya has to offer, they're going to live it up. So how much do the 2-week millionaires actually spend? Well, my guess is they probably spend a lot more than they originally bargained for. Perhaps £200 a day? £500 a day? That's probably a bit closer. How about £1,000 a day? Oh no, £1,000 a day? That's ridiculous to even suggest that. Nobody spends £1,000 a day in Pattaya. It's not even physically possible to spend £1,000 a day in Pattaya. Is it? Yes, it is. I've heard so many stories of £1,000 a day, and I've even met some of the guys who admit to having spent that much. Earlier this year, I was in a well-known bar in that wonderful paradise called Soy 6. And a young guy there recognised me from this YouTube channel, so I had a good chat with him. He was having a 2-week holiday in Pattaya and was having a whale at the time. He'd actually only been there for 2 days at that point, and basically he'd spent £2,000. That's right, he'd spent £2,000 in his first 2 days in Pattaya. £2,000 in 2 days? How the hell did he manage that? Well, he looked a little bit concerned about his own spending habits, but his answer was, well, just look at all these girls. I've bar-fined a lot of them. Well, you know, yes, there are many, many beautiful girls in Pattaya, many beautiful girls in those bars. And, you know, why have one girl when you can have 10? It's not just the girls, of course. It's all the trappings that go with it. Lady drinks, bottles of champagne, ringing the bell to buy everyone a drink, and go-go bars, which can be extortionate if you start bar-finding the girls out of those places. These are the 2-week millionaires, and for 2 weeks they are going to live the rock star lifestyle. It's all there in Pattaya. You will notice I am not really giving prices out for what 2-week millionaires will spend. I mean prices for hotels, flights, spending money, whatever. Well, what prices can you put on those things? And do the 2-week millionaires really care about prices? They may do when they first arrive in Pattaya, but as soon as they hit the bars and see what's on offer, so much of those estimated prices go out of the window. You see, Pattaya really is a place where you can live life to excess. It's all there. The girls, the booze, the massages, everything. And these working guys have had their minds focused on these 2 weeks for such a long time that there's no way they are going to hold back. In Pattaya, an ordinary guy can become a rock star. As soon as you enter the bar and begin splashing the cash, those lovely Thai ladies are onto you. You are like a honeypot, and they will treat you like a rock star. It doesn't matter if you are old and fat and ugly. It doesn't matter that there are younger, better looking men around. If you are the one flashing a fistful of Thai baht, you are the one who will get all the attention. Those girls are there to make money, and you're the one who's got what they want. Now don't think for 1 minute that I'm knocking these guys, far from it. If they really are millionaires, and I suspect there's probably a few of those knocking around Pattaya, then it's fairly normal behaviour for them anyway. But I suspect that a lot of these fellas are not really that rich. They have worked very, very hard for their money, and if they don't want to spend their hard-earned money living the rockstar dream in Pattaya, then who can blame them? Even if it's only for 2 weeks, it's better to have been there and done that than never to have done it at all. And besides, it's their money, so who are we to criticise? So I think I've said enough on that one. Remember, how much you spend in Pattaya for 2 weeks is all down to you at the end of the day. If you've never been to Pattaya before, then I hope these last couple of videos that I've made have given you an idea of what to expect. But I'm not finished yet, because before I go, I want to tell you a little story. It's the story of the coolest dude that I ever saw in Pattaya. It was a couple of years ago, and I was on the mooch around Walking Street at night. Now, as many of you will know, I like go-go bars, and I tend to have my favourites. Go-go bars with nice ladies at various stages of undress. Lovely, lovely ladies dancing on the podium while I'm sipping a cold beer. Love it. So I picked out one of my old favourites, one where they give drinks promotions. And they were outside with a sign that said 75 baht draft beer. 75 baht draft beer and all those lovely dancing girls, who can resist that? So I went in. And I had a couple of draft beers at 75 baht a glass whilst watching the ladies. I was approached by a couple of these girls, as you do, but I made it clear I was just having a quiet beer. So they left me alone. These girls are sharp enough and they know who is likely to be a big spender and who is just going to drink beer and enjoy the show. So I'm drinking my 75 baht glass of draft beer, facing the podium with all these girls dancing. And then in walks this guy. Now this guy, as soon as he appeared, was cool. He walked across the floor and stood in front of the podium where about a dozen topless ladies were dancing. And he was cool, alright. He had a complacent sort of smile on his face, and well, I have to admit, he was a good looking guy, immaculately groomed. He even had the physique. He was wearing a tight t-shirt and it showed off those muscles. Yes, he was cool, alright. Good looking dude for sure. So he stood before the podium for maybe 30 seconds, watching those lovely ladies dancing. And then they noticed him. He'd obviously been in that bar before. They clearly knew who he was. And they went wild. I mean, they went really, really wild. Like a rock star had just entered the building. And then, in one cool movement, he lifted his left arm and he pulled the cord that released the basket of ping pong balls. The girls went even wilder, And then after they scrambled for all of these ping pong balls, all of these girls came off the stage, rushed towards him and surrounded him. The excitement from them was tangible. They then huddled him over to a table, sat him down, surrounded him. You couldn't see this guy anymore because he was surrounded by a sea of half-naked ladies. Then the drink started flowing. Before you knew it, they were bringing bottles of champagne to his table. Then the dancers were ringing the bell for him. All the girls had drinks in their hands. The waitresses had drinks in their hands. The bar staff, even the doorman had drinks in their hands. Who was this guy? I got no idea, but whoever he was, he'd taken over the whole bar because since his arrival, the girls had no interest in anyone else other than him. I mean, they were all over him. And then I noticed the waitresses were telling the other customers to drink up and leave. One of them, you know, the Mamazan type wearing a black uniform like she worked in a bank, came up to me, took the bill out of my check bin and said, "We're closing the bar. This is a private party." What? Private party, my arse. There was no party here, it was just him. This guy had just walked into the place, took a look at everything and decided he wanted the whole lot of it all to himself and to hell with everybody else. How much was he going to spend that night? It's anybody's guess, but he could clearly afford it because, well, he'd obviously done it before. So I paid my bill and drank the remains of my 75 baht glass of draft beer. When I was outside, I had that sort of strange numb feeling, you know, like, what the hell just happened there? And why can't I do that? But the fact is, life isn't always fair, and good fortune isn't always evenly distributed. You see, there are those who can have all the luxuries in life and live the rock star dream. And then there is the guy who gets told to drink up his 75 baht glass of draft beer and leave the premises because his customers no longer required this evening. And we all know which one I am. Okay, so I hope these last couple of videos have been useful if you're planning a 2-week trip to Pattaya. Remember, how much you spend is all down to you at the end of the day. But whether you're a budget, mid-range or 2-week millionaire, make sure you have fun. Because that's what Pattaya is all about. So, thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and press that all-important notification bell, and I'll be back with more videos quite soon. Cheers.